Many students can decode words accurately in isolation. But when they move into connected text, control often breaks down. This presentation introduces a structured pathway from word accuracy to connected text stability. The problem is not effort. The problem is transfer. Students often move from controlled word practice directly into uncontrolled text. Without structure, complexity rises too quickly. Students should not be dropped from word-level decoding into uncontrolled reading tasks. Instruction must regulate word selection, review boundaries, sentence density, and structural expansion. Structure first, complexity second. At the word level, we stabilize decoding. At the sentence level, we regulate transfer within controlled structure. At the paragraph level, structural demand increases while the word list remains constant. Students are not dropped into complexity. They climb. At the word level, students stabilize decoding. They count vowels. They count consonants between vowels. They chunk syllables. Students always have a job. The goal is accurate, independent decoding. Now, those words are placed into tightly controlled sentences. We regulate which target words appear. We regulate which review words are allowed. We regulate how dense each sentence becomes. The goal is stable transfer, not increased difficulty. Next, those same sentences are grouped into paragraphs. The word list remains constant. Structural demand increases. Students must maintain decoding across multiple sentences. This builds fluency and stamina without introducing new spelling variables. This video demonstration of the ladder sentence generator has 4 major sections. 1. Inputs. Teacher inputs descriptive information and word lists. 2. Structural controls to control output. 3. The build process creating 4 controlled complexity outputs. 4. Brief summary of the 7 types of word list inputs teachers can select, including 6 preset differentiated and explicit lists from 3clicksspelling.com. And finally, a free-form input for teachers lists, such as subject area vocabulary and/or an example from structured word analysis. For this demonstration, I'm using the 2-syllable IC entry point. The teacher can enter an optional title for filing. Next, add an optional phase or skill set. Next, indicate the focus of the first and second syllable for the training word list. Create a theme for the short stories. Using the same template, you can create daily stories based on a new theme. For example, change the theme to camping and hiking for day 2. The training list focuses on single vowel, E, in the first syllable with ER constant in the second. The review list includes single vowel, A, words with the same ER ending. The second syllable is kept constant because it has one stable pronunciation. This allows students to focus on the first syllable vowel pattern. You may personalize the structure by adding forbidden words. You may also add student and/or pet names your class is familiar with. This next section is optional, especially if you are using the free-form input. This is a teacher prompt. Since this lesson is focusing on the single vowel, E, in the first syllable, the recommended flexing pattern for the vowel sound is ranked short, short U or schwa, long, diphthong, and finally R-controlled. Since the ER has only one sound, the R-controlled has a ranking of 1. The sentence structure control section is used to build the output. First, you can control how many sentences and how many training words, 1 or 2, in each sentence. The output structure is key and will be modified several times as we build sentences, paragraphs, and stories. Sentence and paragraph modes are intentionally hard-coded to low structural complexity. This keeps the focus on decoding stability and stamina. The paragraph settings tells how many sentences per paragraph. You also can allow single-syllable helper words, allow inflectional endings of training and review words, and indicate if teacher review is preferred. Output is defaulted to student sentences only. Once all of your parameters are set, the next section will build the 4 outputs. 1 set of sentences, paragraphs at the low level, and then 3 stories. To create stories, we change the output structure to stories, then we will change the structural complexity to low, then medium, and then high. Before we build sentences and paragraphs, let's confirm our settings. Sentences and paragraphs are hard-coded to low. We want to include both sentences and paragraphs in our first output. When ready, click the build prompt to create the style sheet. Then click the copy prompt. Click on the OK button, verifying the style sheet is in memory. Select your opened AI tool, in this case ChatGPT, to paste the style sheet and upload it. Once the AI engine processes the style sheet, it returns our 25 sentences and 5 paragraphs with 5 sentences each. Here are the low-level sentences. The low structure is focused on decoding in simple connected text. Using the words in the sentences, check on vocabulary and discuss inflectional endings. Here is a paragraph with the same 5 exact sentences grouped to increase capacity load and stamina while reading a larger block of connected text. Once you have reviewed the sentences and paragraphs, copy them and paste them in a word processor. This allows formatting, saving, and printing. Let's prepare for building 3 levels of stories. We want to keep the first story set to the low level. But we have to switch the output structure to stories. Now that we are ready to build 3 levels of stories, it is just a repetitive process. 1. Click Build Prompt. 2. Click Copy Prompt. 3. Click OK to confirm style sheet is in memory. 4. Click in New AI tool to paste and upload. 5. Once the results are returned, copy and paste into your word processing document. 6. Return to the ladder tool and change the structural capacity level to medium. 7. Repeat the process until the level high story is completed. That's it. You now have 25 sentences, 5 paragraphs repeating the sentences, and 3 levels of stories, all using the same training and review word lists. This document illustrates as the level of stories increases, so does the length of sentences and introduction of clauses to increase the complexity load. 3-Click Spelling provides 6 preset entry points and 1 free-form entry point for developing training and review word lists. The first 4 entry points provide very explicit lists. 2 entry points for single-syllable words with a text-to-speech focus and a speech-to-text focus. The other 2 entry points are for 2-syllable words. Again, one having a text-to-speech focus and the other have a speech-to-text focus. The 2-syllable word lists allow you to even be more explicit by identifying syllable junctures, most frequent words, Tier 1, and/or the spelling or vowel sound variability. To prepare the list to copy into the Ladder tool, select No for Show Details. The next 3 entry points are less explicit. That is, the vowel spelling, vowel sounds, and/or syllable junctures are cumulative. For example, vowels are grouped such as short, schwa, long, diphthong, and are controlled. The 2-syllable entry point has a database of 3,543 words. The 3-syllable entry point has a database of 2,808 words. The final preset entry point wordlist generator, from 3-Click Spelling, allows 2 to 9 syllables and multiple tiers or word frequency ranking, with 1 being the most frequent. This tool is often referenced as the 5-finger syllable tool. This example shows work on 5 syllables at the Tier 3 level. As with the other tools, select No for Show Details for just the words to paste into the Ladder tool. The first free-form entry point illustrates the use of 7th-8th grade science vocabulary words. Notice the list of words retrieved from a Google search. Using the same sequence earlier in the video, the results shows sentences, paragraphs, and 3 stories with increasing complexity. The final example of the free-form entry point is from a structured word inquiry. Make the list of words from your word sums, and enter them in the training list. Review words may also be entered. Generate sentences, paragraphs, and/or 3 levels of stories. Prosody can deepen comprehension without introducing new spelling patterns. Take a simple sentence. Read it once in a neutral tone. Now, reread it and stress the word that answers who. Reread it again and stress what happened. Reread it once more and stress where or how. The word list has not changed. The decoding demand has not changed. But meaning deepens. Review is not repetition. Review is restabilization of structure. If decoding breaks, return to the sentence level. If fluency breaks, regroup and reread. If comprehension breaks, reduce structural complexity. Students are not pushed upward. They are supported one rung at a time. This framework is not about more material. It is about better sequencing. When structure protects transfer, students gain control. Control builds confidence. Confidence builds fluency. Fluency builds readers. Thank you for watching.